Hello YouTube, this is Hunter Surge here with another day of Elestrals Firestorm reveals. I don't know what day it is because I don't have my complete thumbnails folder up, so I can't check by checking the names of my thumbnails. But it is a day. I think it's day 17? That's my hunch. Today we're finally talking about the Flammamoth stuff. I've been kind of excited about this stuff since we first saw it in the binders because board wipes are pretty cool. So let's get into it. But first, let's just make double sure that there's nothing talk about the collection numbers. I don't think there is. There is the newly revealed fact that we are actually getting a Florente champion of Hestia, which could be a huge deal for the deck because one of the things that the archetype is pretty proficient at is getting out a 2-drop. So, and like Earth Scout is good for that purpose if there's specifically a 2-cost with Champion of Hestia as its title. So getting that is going to be a really big deal for the deck if that card's any good. It gives it a lot more leg to stand on if that card is good. Yeah, outside recapping that, I don't think there's really anything to talk about today. Alright. Oh, right, we have one other thing. This is actually really big. So in the Marketplace Discord, in the Marketplace Discord yesterday, the conversation of full arts going to box toppers came up because, we got the torch in full art. It would be really cool if we were getting more of these instead of the box topper full arts. And one of the members of the Marketplace Discord decided to tag A Drive about it because he's in the server. Bring up that this has come up multiple times, and A Drive said he's going to take note of that, and they will be adjusted for set 7, and those slots will be used for cool 1-cost Elestrals instead, which is huge news. Really happy about that. I've complained about it like every single time it's come up in the Moonrise and Daybreak reveals. It's a really big bummer for me. So I'm really glad that this is going to change. We have to bear through one more set of it, but after that, no. Yeah, we have to bear through set 6 of that, but then when we hit set 7, we can finally say goodbye to that concept, which is really, really awesome. I really don't want to have to deal with this anymore. I really want more things in decks to be full artable, more things that you would actually run multiple copies of. So big fan of this. Big fan of this. Okay. Let's talk about the Flammamoth cards. So, Nimbug we basically already knew from the binder. It's a 2/1, 1 wind. When you normal cast it, you get to search for Foloi Forest, Charcoon, or Flammamoth. Good consistency piece. Stats are really low, but still better than original Nimbugs. So it's an improvement at least. Then we have titled Foloi Forest. I've been guessing for a while that this was going to happen because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for this deck to operate with the Earth Foloi Forest. It's a 1-fire stadium rune that opponents must also expend 2 spirits in order to play stadium runes. This doesn't do anything. I really want something that would be synergistic with the archetype, help it do its thing. This does not do that. What this does do is it's like, okay, if you're already in on fire and you want a sideboard stadium to help you counter other decks that are relying on their stadium, like say Water Reanimator, this is the best stadium to be running if you're already in on fire because in addition to replacing their stadium, if they want to play another stadium, they are going to have to expend 2 extra spirits. So it's a really cool tech card in that way, but as far as supporting this new Flammamoth deck, it's really, really awful. It also would have been ideal if it was wind, or at least was like fire wind, so that you could Nexus, it would give you another Nexus bank for wind stuff, to use for Tower of Winds. But it is neither of those things, very unfortunately. It is code 80. Collection code number 80. And that's thoughts into... I have a bad feeling. Okay, no. Okay, it is over here. Okay. The ordering of, like, invokes and counters and stadiums are still super weird, and you can't really tell any information by that. Because, like, stadiums, I'm pretty sure, historically, like in Frostfall, stadiums came last. In Moonrise, Temple of the Moon came after all the other lunar runes. Yep. In base set, I believe this was also the case. Yeah, in every color, the last rune was the stadium. And I believe that was also the case in Daybreak for Temple of the Sun. No, Guardian of the Fleece came after it. But yeah, stadiums are weird and just seem to just sometimes there's a rune placed after them, even though there shouldn't be in the logic of the order. I don't really know why Reforge comes after Foloi Forest, but we've seen stadiums do this kind of weird thing before, or invokes in general be placed weirdly in regards to other rune types. So I'm not terribly surprised that happened with this collection number here. But it is still annoying. I really wish it was uniform instead of whatever is happening here with Foloi Forest being at 80. My one concern is that stadiums, the one thing I was kind of worried about is that the weird stadium placement would put between the two artifacts and go, actually there's not a third fire artifact in this set. But 77 is still open. So that is still very, very, very likely to be another fire artifact, which could be a really big deal for the Hephaestus deck if it's good. That deck is probably already going to be good, but another artifact rune is cool. Okay. Then we have the new Flammamoth. This is a 2/6 wind fire. It's always treated as it always counts as Sirikun. You can nexus up to 2 spirits in any combination of fire and wind. That for no payoff. And then when this Charcoon is destroyed by an opponent's rune effect, that opponent must expend spirits for each spirit that was enchanting this Charcoon. So the idea is like you enchant more, you nexus more onto it so that when your opponent pops it, they take more damage, but I don't think that's particularly good. This card's weird. This card's like bad. I don't think this card sees play. And then we have the new Flammamoth. This is an 8/4, 2 wind, 1 fire. Your opponent's Elestrals get -1 attack and -1 defense for each Nimbug and Charcoon in your underworld. That debuff effect is really cool, and you can destroy a Foloi Forest on your field. If you do, destroy all cards on the field except this Flammamoth. So that effect's really cool, but like outside the Nimbug searching for Flammamoth and Foloi, nothing in this line really supports getting it out. And frankly, if I'm going to do like Tower of Winds stuff with Flammamoth searching from Nimbug, I think I'd probably rather go into OG Flammamoth. I don't think this new Flammamoth is actually better if we're just going to be doing the Tower of Winds stuff anyways. Like, there could have been some synergistic stuff with a new Charcoon, with a new Foloi Forest, but we didn't do that. So, bummer. I really like Flammamoth. Flammamoth has like the original Flammamoth full art is one of my favorite arts in the entire game. So I was really hopeful for this, but no, there's just like nothing here. I think one of the things that really hurts it is that we have like another 3-cost that goes, hey, on play I'm going to wipe the board in Champion Majursa. And Champion Majursa has significantly more support with helping to get it on the field. Like Ursaden and Hibernation is like really good support for helping get Majursa on the field. And unfortunately, the thing is with board wipes like this is you still need a Hurricane ahead of time to ensure it goes through. Because you can just get Gorgon Scased. So the fact that Majursa only blows up 1 or 2 and doesn't get a full board wipe actually doesn't feel too bad because you're going to be aiming to Hurricane first before going into that line. So if we're going to turbo into either of the Flammamoths, it really feels like we go for the OG Flammamoth, which is very unfortunate. I was really hoping for more of this Flammamoth, but it is not to be. At the very least, the Foloi Forest has like a very obvious use case outside of this deck exactly. in that you can just like use it in the sideboard if you want to counter opposing stadiums. You just want to play Stadium Wars. Like, it's the perfect stadium for a deck that doesn't really care about its stadium, but wants a stadium for Stadium Wars. So that's pretty cool. I am fond of that aspect of the card. And then we have Foloi Forest. This is 104. This places it right here. 103 is obviously the carry-on. And then we have 4 remaining slots here for like more wind stuff, frost, solar, lunar. And we'll see how those get divided up. And then, what else do we have? Yes, the slots. Okay, so these are 53 through 55. About as expected. We know that there's a wind spider line, which is probably 2-stage coming, so that would be 56 and 57. And we know that we have a champion of Hermes, Cockadoodle, Dracodoodle line coming, so that would be 50-51. So we know which Elestrals are going to be filling those remaining slots. We just don't know what they are yet. But with that said, this is going to be Hunter Surge, signing off.